Cable is ready, we'd like to welcome him to our meeting and ask you stand to join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Durante.
Present.
Folks. Absent. Excused. Rappaport.
Present.
Sharp.
Present.
Spizak.
Here.
Williams.
Present.
And Wilson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Spizak, supported by Commissioner Wilson. Roll call.
Roll call vote to approve the August 7th, 2019 minutes. Durante.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Spizak.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
6-0. The motion passes.
At this time of our meeting, if there's anything that you'd like to bring before the commission that is not on the agenda, this would be the time to do it. There's copies of the agenda, I believe, on the lectern there. All right, we will move into our first case, which is case 2227, is proposed land division on Linville Street. Mr. Abu.
Thanks, Chairman. The subject site here is located in a single-family residential neighborhood just south of John Glenn High School, between Wayne and Newburgh, identified on your screen and outlined in yellow. The site comprises of about 35,000 square feet and is zoned R5 single-family residential. This site is currently grass planted and undeveloped. The petitioner is proposing to split the property in two equal-sized parcels. This is the existing survey. This is the proposed split in order to allow for the construction of two homes. The proposed parcels on your screen do comply with all of the dimensional requirements, minimum lot width and minimum lot size requirements in the R5 zoning districts. So again, the petitioner is here tonight proposing the split shown on your screen, to 61.5 width lots for construction of new homes. The administration and planning department are both recommending approval of this proposed land division. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Would you like to come forward? Yes. Would you come forward and introduce yourselves, please?
This is my dad. He doesn't speak English, so I'm here. I'm Araceli. This is Imat Gorkari. That's his name.
Okay, anything you wish to add?
No, I think he described everything he wants to do, just divide the land, and that's it, yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience wish to speak on this? We'll open it up to the commission.
If there are no concerns, I'm prepared with a motion.
That's very good, sir. Proceed.
Very well then. At this time, I'd like to move to send case number 2227, proposed land division, to City Council with a recommendation for approval, subject to departmental requirements and recommendations.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Rappaport, supported by Commissioner Durante. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote to approve the proposed land division on Linville Street, case number 2227. Durante.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Spizak.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
6-0. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Very good. Good luck to you when you go to City Council. Thank you for coming. All right, we will move into our next case, which is case 1606B, which is a public hearing for special land use for a telecommunication tower. Mr. Ayub.
Thanks, Chairman. The property that is proposed for special land use approval here is located on the south side of Palmer Road, west of Vinoy Road. The subject property comprises of about 7.3 acres and is zoned R5 single-family residential. It is also developed with the Full Gospel Temple Church. The petitioner today is proposing to locate a 125-foot tall galvanized monopole and telecommunications equipment in a 40 by 40 lease space within the existing southeast grass planted area in the rear yard of this church noted. It will indicate it by a red dot on your screen. The parcel outline for the church is outlined in yellow on your screen. The 40 by 40 space will be screened using a 6-foot tall wooden fence as proposed and 5-foot tall arborvitaes that will be wrapped around the exterior perimeter of the fence, also as proposed on the site plan. Telecommunication devices, including the tower and antennas proposed in the zoning districts that are not in the I-1 and I-2 industrial districts, require special land use approval, and that is why the petitioner is here tonight. The petitioner is also requesting approval to reduce the required tower separation from residentially zoned land. I'll discuss that in a moment. The site contains 2 driveways off of Palmer. A 20-foot wide access easement is being proposed and will be approved by the private parties if this is approved by the city to provide access to the telecommunications facility. Off-site parking and access are adequate for the site, including the church. Once the facility is constructed, it is my knowledge that it will be operational and unmanned 24/7. So very minimal impact rather on traffic. The existing uses surrounding the property are commercial and residential in nature. The tower will be located about 350 feet from the nearest single-family residence. That is measured to the, I believe, wall of the residential property, or home rather, to the north, and about 280 feet from the nearest residences to the south. This does not comply with the minimum separation requirement of 375. The proposed tower meets the minimum property line setback requirement of 94 feet for the properties to the south, but does not meet this requirement for residential properties to the north and the east. The tower is set back about 80 feet from the property line of land zoned residential to the north, but it is not clear what that property is actually used for in terms of land, referring to this property right here. The tower is set back about 40 feet from the property line of zoned residential to the east, being this parcel over here. The city council may reduce the setback and separation requirements as mentioned if it determines that separation and setbacks are adequate when considering the surrounding uses and proposed screening. There are no towers in the immediate area of the subject site. The closest tower is about 1 mile away near the corner of South Wayne and Avondale. The petitioner has indicated a tower is needed in this area to improve communication coverage in this area and also to prepare for the rollout of the 5G network. The administration is recommending approval of this proposed special land use and site plan as proposed. And if you give me a moment, I'd like to walk through these. If you have any questions afterwards, I'd be happy to answer them. This is the site plan for those watching at home and in the audience. This is a closer aerial showing the distance, the line distances, the separation distances that I was discussing. These are approximate. This is a more detailed, up-close version of the site plan showing you what's going to be inside the 40 by 40 leased space, the fence, and the arborvitaes with the gate. A detail of the fence, a detail showing the monopole, and another site plan showing the landscaping material used. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. The petitioner's here. Would you come forward and introduce yourself, please?
Good evening, Anthony Amin Associates, LLC, 200 East Big Beaver Road, Troy, Michigan, 48083, in conjunction with Jason Riggs of Fortune Wireless from Indianapolis. We're here this evening on behalf of Vertical Bridge Development, LLC. I think Mr. Ayu basically described our intentions, and we're here to answer any questions or go into further detail the presentation that we have provided you.
Okay, what we'll do, it is a public hearing, we'll bring you back up. You can just have a seat real close, and I'll see if anyone wants to speak, and then we'll bring you right back up.
Excellent. Thank you. Also,
Thank you.
I have Brad Riggs, Director of Fortune Wireless, and I have Pastor Mike Anderson of Full Gospel Temple is also here in the audience this evening.
Very good, very
Thank
good.
you.
Anyone on my left wish to speak on this? Anyone on my right? Well, sir, we're going to bring you right back up. We didn't hardly give you a chance to rest.
My name is Jason Riggs, address of 5511 West 79th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46268. As Anthony mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Fortune Wireless. We are here on behalf of Vertical Bridge and T-Mobile. I think the presentation that was given tonight was pretty well done. There's just a few things I want to key point. We did provide a booklet. I think you may have had a chance to look through that. Quickly, just provide a letter of intent kind of outlining what we're here for, what we're doing, and then also going through the code and outlining that, as well as some maps indicating, and I think, Mo did a wonderful job with that, as well as the RF letter kind of outlining why we need this, or why T-Mobile needs this. I'm not going to sit here and go through everything for you. I mean, you've probably had a chance to look at it, so if you have any questions regarding that information, I'll be more than happy to
Okay, we
discuss
do
it.
have all that information, and I have to say that it's the most intense, well-touched on every piece of items that there was.
Thank you.
But we will open it up to commission, and we'll see if anybody's got questions of you.
Okay.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, through the chair to Mo. Because this does not meet the standards, does this have to go through the ZBA for variance? I understand that you have on here the city council may reduce the setbacks and separation requirements, but doesn't that have to go through ZBA first?
So that's
For them to make their determination?
It's a good question. In normal cases, this would need to go to the ZBA, preferably before, but it can go after. However, for telecommunications facilities and other devices, it does allow the city council to waive these separation distance requirements that I just mentioned earlier without requiring ZBA approval.
Okay.
And in addition to that, if you don't mind, we've also provided a fall zone letter to help assist with that minimal setback that we are requesting.
Okay. Also, my next statement is not a question. All the people within the surrounding area were notified of this. Am I correct?
That is correct.
We surpassed the 300-foot mark.
We went up to the 375 because that is what the separation requirement is in the zoning ordinance based off of the height of the tower. Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have one more thing. Can we swap out the wooden fence for a vinyl fence?
Vinyl fence.
There's something about the wooden fence and the deterioration, even though it may not deteriorate for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think a wooden fence, and you're going to put trees around it, I think a vinyl fence would live a lot longer.
Sure, yeah, I mean, if that's something that the commission wants to put as a condition, we'd be more than happy to entertain that as part of the.
All right, we will add that on our statement at the end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams.
Just in terms of the efficiency, this will impact the service model for the individuals unit. And I don't want to get into the variations, but how will that help increase the efficiencies of the people in the area?
Yeah, so as far as the signal is concerned, if you go to,
I saw that.
yeah, it shows the, I think it was tab 7. the propagation, I think it's best to see that on the, I overlaid it on an aerial, so you kind of see how much service this really is providing to the area. It will provide, it's basically called a coverage site. So this is actually, they have lack in coverage or minimal coverage as well as capacity, which means that, you know, it's getting strained right now. So with this site, it'll help improve that, that coverage to the area.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's on record because a lot of people won't read the report and making sure that they know that this is going to be more efficient for the service. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Any other questions of the commission? Commissioner Rappaport.
Hi.
Hi.
So I noticed a letter in our packet from an engineer, RF engineer. It says that there's an existing gap. Can you maybe educate us a little bit about that?
Sure. That's talking about the coverage that I just mentioned. So basically, that means that there's a gap in coverage, means there's minimal to no coverage at all in that area. So what this site does is it fills in that gap. It also helps with capacity. So best way to describe capacity is you have a major highway, right? And that traffic that you would typically see on that highway, put that on a 2-lane road.
Right.
So that's what this does, that you have a coverage gap with the technology. So this is helping with the coverage that's lacking there, as well as filling a capacity where people using their phones are straining the network.
Okay, so I'm going to practice a little bit of active listening because my degree is obviously not in electrical engineering or RF frequencies. So if I understand this correctly, normal users in the area that has this gap in coverage, they are able to use the service, but the service is strained, so they're not able to use it as efficiently. Is that
In a good portion of it, there is areas where there's limited to no service at all.
And they would
Drop calls.
They would be experiencing drop calls.
Drop calls, slow
service
data,
interruptions.
load up times on their phone where they're not be able to access things online.
Okay, and the proposed tower would alleviate this problem?
Yes, a large portion, as shown on the maps in the green area. I don't know if that's on here or not, but
It's there. It's in our packet.
yeah. So you can see it's a rather large area where it has the good coverage. That's going to be indoor coverage. Yellow will have moderate indoor coverage, pretty good outside coverage, and then red, you're probably not going to have any service in your home, or it'll be by the window type thing. So we've all kind of been through that. So, so yeah, that's kind of, if that helps.
Well, I want to join my chairperson in commending you on the thoroughness and the detail of your request.
Thank you.
Now, this, one thing that I did notice that caught my eye, this gets us a little bit closer to establishing a 5G network.
Yes. Yeah, all the companies are, and specifically T-Mobile too, is highly invested in moving to the 5G. And I can give you some additional information on the 5G. I don't have a lot of printouts, but I do have some printouts if you'd care to have that for your knowledge of what the 5G network is and what hopefully can come to the community.
Okay, I don't believe I have anything else. I am ready to go with a.
Commissioner Wilson,
motion
she had one more
with,
thing.
With my
Commissioner Wilson.
with the fence upgrade included.
I do, as the rest of the gentlemen sitting here, I do have to commend you. I got to reading this and I was like, wow,
Thank you.
this is thorough. I didn't understand a lot of it, but it was thorough, and it's nothing like a phone call, Google, and everything else to help you along with understanding this. But my question through the chair is to the pastor. Because I'm always interested in the neighbors and whether or not everything has been discussed and it has been agreed upon, and you are satisfied?
Yes, ma'am, we are satisfied.
Okay,
We have had no complaints, no concerns.
okay. And the other question I wanted to ask the petitioners, you have space on this tower for 2 more occupants. Do you know who those 2 might be? Or you just want to put T-Mobile there right now and?
Yeah, so basically Vertical Bridge will be constructing the tower. T-Mobile would be the anchor tenant. And then typically, you have your major carriers, you have your Verizon, Sprint,
Right.
AT&T. So, whether it fits their need, we have availability. And Vertical Bridge, that's kind of their business, is to have co-location. So they want these tenants again. So they'll actually promote it to the other carriers as well.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Rappaport.
Thank you very much. And before I move forward with my motion, I just wanted to state that I absolutely support the fence being a vinyl fence, not a wooden fence, because while a wooden fence would have a 20-year projected lifespan, over those 20 years, it will progressively degrade, whereas a vinyl fence would remain as beautiful the day that it's installed as the day that it's decommissioned. And with that, I'd like to move to close the public hearing, waive the normal rules, and send case number 1606B, special land use approval, to City Council with a recommendation for approval, contingent upon the proposed fence being a vinyl fence and not wooden. Understanding that this matter is not going before the ZBA. The proposal otherwise meets the standards of Westland zoning ordinance number 248, Article 13, Section 13.4.
Motion by Commissioner Rappaport, supported by Commissioner Williams. Roll call, please.
Roll call vote to approve the special land use and site plan for a proposed telecommunications facility at 34033 Palmer Road. Durante.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Spezak.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
Recommendation to approve is passed.
Gentlemen, thank you, and once again, very thorough on your report, and good luck when you go to City Council.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Chairman, can I say a word? real
Yes.
quick? I would recommend that everyone in the audience on your behalf today to attend the city council meeting too. I'll touch base with you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move into our next case, which is case 1559J, which is a public hearing for a proposed rezoning. Mr. Ayub.
Thank you, Chairman. The property that is proposed to be rezoned is located at the northwest corner of Wayne Road and Hunter Avenue. The overall site contains about 11 acres and is developed with the Westland Plaza Shopping Center. The subject property is zoned CB2 and is developed with a 2-building, approximately 92,000 square foot retail shopping center. The petitioner proposes to rezone the property from CB2 Shopping Center Commercial zoning designation to CB3 General Commercial zoning designation in order to attract more development options to the site and to make the plaza more marketable. I have a zoning map or a snippet from the zoning map up on your screen outlining the subject parcel in red and showing you the zoning classifications on your left-hand side. Property to the north is zoned Garden Apartment and is developed with Waynewood Apartments. Property to the south is zoned CB3 General Commercial and to the southwest R5 Single-Family Residential and is developed with Wayne Hunter Party Store and single-family homes. Property to the west in the brown color there is wait, that's not the west, I'm sorry. Property to the west, blue area is zone townhouse residence and is developed with Ridgewood Apartments, and to the east, more shopping, retail plazas, zone CB1. The retail plaza was recently renovated and is currently suitable for development with a variety of commercial uses, including uses in the CB2 and the CB3 district. As mentioned previously, the retail plaza is struggling on the property for marketability and a wider range of commercial uses. The administration and planning department are both recommending approval of the proposed rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayub. Is the petitioner here, and would you come forward? Introduce yourselves.
My name is Eugene Abdal, and I am the owner of the property.
Ryan Katu, I'm the property manager.
Okay, anything you wish to add?
Approximately, I think it was around 2013, the shopping center suffered a large fire. And since then, we have made the decision with the help of the city to turn it into a rehab district. And so we've made a large investment into the shopping center in rebuilding and restructuring it so that it looks the way it does today, and it's a beautiful property now. We have struggled over the last several years in trying to attract tenants to the shopping center. And as you may or may not know, there's a lot of competition around us. And most of the shopping centers that we're looking at around us do have the CB3 zoning, while our property is zoned as CB2. That is putting us at a disadvantage in bringing tenants into the shopping center. And so what we're looking for is for some help from the city to put us on an even playing field so that we can attract similar tenants as the shopping centers that are around us.
Very good, very good. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this? Yes, we'll bring you gentlemen back up. Yeah, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Good evening. My name is Corey Robinson. I'm here on behalf of the owner of the CVS that sits in front of the shopping center. This is Mr. Nasir Farzad. We do have some opposition to this, mainly because the proposed uses in the new zoning would violate the clause in the CVS lease and therefore give CVS the ability to cancel their lease and potentially leave their location. We also have some potential concerns that the new setback requirements in the new zoning could infringe on our property and potentially hinder visibility of the CVS, and that's why we're opposed.
All right, well, the setbacks wouldn't change, but you have in your agreement that they cannot change?
That's not in the agreement with CVS, that's just a general concern. I thought when I read the zoning, it could potentially go from 50 out front to 25 out front. Correct, I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, it does. It frees up some other businesses that wouldn't normally be there, but they wouldn't be any business that would affect CVS. But it would open it up other business.
Specifically, and I have the clause in the CVS lease. Off the
Yeah,
top
that's
of my
what I
head, a
asked.
movie
You
theater.
have a clause in there that, okay.
It restricts a bowling alley, which is allowed in the CB3, but not in the CB2. It restricts a theater. There's a few other uses. I can get you the information if you need it. So the concern is that CVS would leave for us.
Chairman,
Yes.
so I did speak with someone who also represents you, sir, over the phone. I wasn't made aware of this agreement or deed restriction that you're referring to. I think, and this is up to the Planning Commission, but just offering this up, if you want to provide a copy of those restrictions, I can place them on file in my planning department files. And if there are any developments that are restricted that come forward, we can notify you, and also there would be a mechanism to stop it, having that in our file. I don't have that right now. However, I think the rezoning, if the Planning Commission and City Council decides to approve it, that doesn't necessarily approve the restricted uses.
That's true. What,
okay.
is there any kind of guarantees that they would have? Because the issue is, and my background is I worked for 10 years as a senior real estate manager at Walgreens, so I've done a lot of these deals, and any leverage or anytime they see any kind of scenario where they can come in and potentially renegotiate the lease or cancel the lease or whatever they can do, just the fact that the shopping center now has the ability is going to bother CVS. That's the problem. So
Okay.
I agree it's not approved, but there's potential in the future, and that their lease is up in 2023, and with this sitting out there, who knows what they may do at that time.
So I would say there's definitely a mechanism for us to look out for those restricted uses and prevent
Great.
them from being approved on the city side if they conflict with any recorded agreement that you have. I'd be happy to speak with you and obtain that agreement
That'd be great.
offline.
Yep, that'd be great.
No problem.
So that you could list those things that would be
Yes.
offensive to you, like a bowling alley and a theater.
Yep, I can get you a complete list. Yep.
Right. So with that in there, then you would be okay with that approval by listing those out, so they would not be approved.
Correct me if I'm, you okay with that? Yes, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on this? Gentlemen, we'll bring you back up. Now, listen to those. Is that agreeable to you?
So the building itself, the shopping center itself, is not designed in such a way where you could have a bowling alley or a theater.
Yeah.
So we have no intentions of doing any of those anyways.
But we understand that, but you
from a-
wouldn't have a problem with that indication, that wording being included in this, with,
From a restriction,
Ayub.
from a restriction standpoint on the deed, there is none that we are aware of to our knowledge. The CVS attorney had contacted us probably earlier in this year, and as we went through and looked at what was proposed in their lease, does not apply to us at all.
okay.
And so I'm willing to sit with Mr. Ayub and the gentleman here and clarify all that.
All right. I think based on that, we'll open up the commission.
Okay?
Okay. Excuse me.
Mr. Wilson.
With the conversation that needs to be had between the city, the owners, and the lessees, I think maybe this might want to be postponed until they get their paperwork and their information, and Mo gets the information that he needs to put in on file to even create the restrictions. I think this is an issue that might need to be looked at a little bit further, since CVS's lease will be up in, what, 3 years? Is it 3 years? You said 2023? If it's 2023, that's 3 years from now. That only gives them a leg to stand on for 3 years. When it's time to renew the lease, the conditions could change. So I would like to make a motion to postpone this until the participants put in writing or some kind of paperwork together, some understanding together to bring back to us. That's an assurity to both sides.
Okay, is there support for that motion? Any discussion on it?
Yeah. I'd like to comment, please.
Yes.
Go ahead. While I respect the position of my colleague, I don't see the point or our real authority to really step into this issue. They have a contract. That contract restricts their ability to be able to move forward with those sorts of activities. And besides, if we are concerned about it from our standpoint, we can simply handle it by adding to whoever makes the motion, simply adding subject to departmental requirements and recommendations, and it serves the exact same function. I do
can
not
go with
see the
that.
point in any way, shape, or form for us not to take care of the business that we have before us.
I can go along with that.
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Everybody was notified within a certain area. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Correct, Commissioner. Everyone within 300 feet of this parcel.
So CVS was notified and
C-
other businesses were notified.
That's correct, sir.
So if there was a problem, they could have called you previously?
Well, they did, and I think for the most part, it was an inquiry on behalf of a CVS attorney, well, someone representing the CVS owner out of maybe New York or something like that, or New Jersey or something, I'm not sure. We discussed at length the proposed rezoning, what it does to the individual owner here, and I thought it was just an inquiry, so I wasn't presented with any deed restrictions on the property or anything like that. I did just look at the deed that was provided to us. Does not look like there were any use restrictions, but again, I would be happy to, I believe Elaine gave my card to the CVS representatives. I'd be happy to talk to them offline. And just to add a little bit of commentary to this deed restriction stuff, the city, well, municipal governments don't usually interfere in deed restrictions and amongst private individuals, but however, in my professional career as a courtesy to private landowners, I have, in specific situations, kind of maybe blocked developments if it did interfere with a deed, and I would be willing to do that here, but as long as if it's not recorded, if it's not binding, then there's really nothing I can do. But as that is to be determined once we have that conversation.
The CVS is a standalone building, is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
It is?
Yes, it is.
Is. And the closest other drugstore is gone. Is that correct?
Yeah, Wayne and Ford is
Yeah,
gone.
Wayne and Ford is gone.
Yep.
You know, with the addition that Mr. Rappaport indicates that he's going to put on, I don't think there's any problem. I don't know what the problem would be. I don't think CVS wants to leave that particular area. They got all the apartments around there.
Well, as I said, I'm amicable to amending the motion
There you go.
to add contingent upon departmental rules and regulations. I'm good with that.
Okay.
Call the prior question so that we can move on with the,
Wait a minute, well,
with the.
Commissioner Durante, do you agree to that?
I agree.
To the changes? Okay. Commissioner Rappaport.
Point of order that we currently have a motion to postpone. They can't simply amend
Right.
that motion
we have to
that's
vote it down.
However, my colleague, Ms. Wilson, can actually reclaim the floor and withdraw her motion if she so chooses. Otherwise,
We'd have to vote.
procedure would have to have us take a vote on it and then proceed with the original question.
At this time, through the chair, I am prepared to remove my motion.
I'm prepared to remove my support.
Very good. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Even though we didn't need to vote, but, okay, continue.
Go ahead, Mr. Rappaport.
Very good then. If, I did actually want to make some commentary here.
Sure.
Of course, I just love to hear myself talk. So I do notice that that there are areas, if we're looking at this like a normal map, if up is north, where I do notice that there are CB3 areas to the northeast and the southwest, including the CVS. The area covered by the CVS, is that correct? So, so changing this from this actually kind of looks a little bit like an outlier as it appears to us. I can even see there's another ZB3 up in the upper left-hand corner. So I certainly do understand the request. Now, you're not in any way, shape, or form facially intending to violate any contracts that you've already agreed to.
No, as I stated earlier, the building is not facilitated for these types of uses anyways. And so we can't put a movie theater in there, we can't do a bowling alley, And so it's meant to be for retail, and we may add things like a gym, which is considered a CB3. We may add things of that sort, maybe storage units. Those are in no way in violation with or taking away any business from CVS.
And is it your statement to this board that's making this decision for you, that your intention is to deal in good faith with the leaseholder of the CVS?
Absolutely.
Okay. With that, if there are no further motions,
I see none, sir.
regarding case number 1559J, at this time I'd like to move to close the public hearing, waive the normal rules, and send case number 1559J, public hearing for proposed rezoning from CB2 to CB3, to City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Support.
Subject to departmental requirements and recommendations regarding the existence of leasehold restrictions.
So I support that.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Rappaport, supported by Commissioner Williams. Before we call a vote, now, if there's paperwork, I'd recommend that you do provide paperwork to Commissioner Ayub so that he can have that in his file. All right, roll call, please.
Roll call vote to recommend approval of the proposed rezoning from CB2 to CB3 at 6503 North Wayne Road. Roll call vote. Durante.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes?
Sharp.
Yes.
Spizak.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
6-0, the motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen, and we're happy you're both here, and we're happy you brought that information forward. Wasn't aware of that. And I think that if you gentlemen work together and provide that anything that's written on in regards to that to Mr. Ayub, then that can go in his file also.
Will do.
Thank you. Good luck as you go to City Council. We'll move into our next case, which is case 2182B, which is a public hearing for special land use for proposed adult care facility. Mr. Ayub.
Thank you, Chairman. The subject property is located at the southwest corner of Joy Road and Hicks Road. The property comprises of about 1.14 acres and is zoned CB3 General Commercial Business. The site is developed with John Hicks Shopping Plaza, a small commercial center containing about 13,000 square feet of retail space. The petitioner today is proposing to occupy one of the vacant suites with an adult daycare facility. My understanding is it is for disabled seniors, if you can please confirm when you're brought up here. The previously approved site plan submitted for this retail plaza along with the site visit indicate that the site is currently accessed by two driveways. One driveway at Joy Road and one driveway off of Hicks to the north there. The zoning ordinance requires a minimum of 78 off-street parking spaces, and the site currently contains 80. Therefore, there is sufficient parking and access to the site. There is also a 6-foot masonry screening wall on the south side, screening the residential properties to the south. The site contains established landscaping along the street side consistent with the approved site plan for this retail plaza. The hours of operation for the adult daycare facility are from 9 a.m. To 5 p.m. The adult daycare use is consistent with the existing uses and the zoning within the general area of this retail plaza, and will not have any impact on traffic, negative impact on traffic. Site screening, landscaping, lighting, and drainage requirements are all adequate to service the retail plaza as they exist today. And the administration and planning department are both recommending approval to you for the proposed special land use. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayub. Would the petitioner like to come forward and introduce yourselves?
Good evening, all.
Good
James.
evening, Sask. Good evening, ma'am.
And your names for the,
Okay,
I'm James Onyebuchi.
I'm Sisi Onyebuchi.
all right, anything you wish to add? Anything you wish to add, anything you wish to add with what?
No, I think he described it perfectly.
All right, we will open it up to the commission.
Excuse me.
I have a few questions.
Hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
I want to correct something. Yeah, he said everything okay, but it's a day program, not daycare.
It's not daycare, it's
No,
a
not
day
daycare, day
program
program.
Day program.
for adults.
For adults,
Yes,
Okay,
Gotcha.
and
My fault.
where would you get your audience from?
From
from the group home.
group homes.
Group homes, so they
Yeah.
would be brought there and you would offer a
They
program?
Yeah.
But the program area, after the
Social-
hours of 9 to 5, they go
Yeah,
back
they
home.
socialize, do the act, do the crochet for the women. They put the TV, they will watch the TV, somebody
Okay.
will talk to them.
Eat lunch.
They do the games, watch the TV, as I said, coping. Some people, they don't know how to talk, like handicap, like talking, funny, but somebody will walk with them, say, friend. Somebody can say, friend, say friend, eat lunch, drink, like Kool-Aid, and when it's time, the boss will take them back home, and the people will clean the place, make sure it's clean.
All right,
And go home every day,
Yes,
good.
Monday to Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Okay, excuse
We
me,
will
I
not
still have questions.
Not have an issue changing the wording on this before it goes city council?
All amended
Okay.
for you before it goes, yes.
Mr. Wilson?
How many adults do you plan on having in this facility on a daily basis?
Between,
Like, table 1, 2, 3, table 6, 6. Like, how many table? 3?
maybe 20 maximum?
No,
Well,
it's
that's
not up to 20. It's like 6,
Up to 20?
6,
Maximum.
like 15. It's less
Okay.
than, it's
She's
not up to
saying
20.
All right, how many people will be employed to take care of these disabled adults?
Like 3 people.
How many?
3.
3 people.
Yeah, like at
5
least
to 3.
1 person up to 5, 1 up to 5, just like
She's saying
15.
15 people. He said 20, so I'm
On
gonna
the-
take the
yeah,
20.
it's a
Must
show
be
work.
6 to 1.
Yeah, 1 person up to 5, like 15 people, like 3 or 4.
Okay. Then my next question is what kind of security or medical assistance will you have on premise? Will you have a professional medical person, a nurse, a nurse's aide?
Yeah, we have social workers and nurses.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
These people come to the home also. They come to their group homes where they live, and they come to their program too, so.
And there
So
we
the
will-
group home is going to be providing medical assistance?
No, we have a social worker that come there and the nurses.
So the group home will
And-
transport them to
and-
your facility and pick them up and take them back? Is that correct?
Say it again?
The group home will be providing transport.
Yes, transportation, right,
For and back.
right.
Yes.
Okay, then, excuse me, my final question is what experience do you have in adult disabled programs or projects, or do you have another facility somewhere else, or is this your first foray into this? Have you done this before?
Yes, ma'am. I have experience
Since I came to America, I've been working for big facility. I'm known as Miss Sisi. So I work for Eisenhower, Rainbow Rehabilitation, a lot of them. So I'm very good with this kind of thing.
And you're licensed
Yes, ma'am.
through the state?
Yes.
Okay.
She does have it at, I only know of one other facility. She may have more, but I do know of one that she operates in Redford. Just thought I'd share.
Any other questions? Commissioner Rappaport.
To the chair and potentially capable of being answered by the administration. I just want to make sure that I understand what we're actually talking about here. So from what I understand, what it sounds to me like is this is going to be an off-site social lounge for adult participants.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And I see the administration shaking their head, so I think I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on here. Then I have a follow-up question. If this is just an off-site social lounge, does this still fall under the requirement of the code to need a special land use approval?
So I've spoken with the gentleman and the lady here, I don't know how many times, maybe close to half a dozen times, to try and understand this a little bit better. They did tell me multiple times that it was a day program. I did put in here daycare. I think my interpretation of both of those uses could be commingled together a little bit. Maybe it's not truly a daycare program for adults, but it is similar to that in the better safe than sorry, classifying it as such in the zoning ordinance. There's no real mechanism in the zoning ordinance for me to say, well, let's just approve it because it's called an adult daycare program. It does act similarly to an adult daycare with the transportation and the similar services that are offered, so I just played it safe.
I see no problem with the prophylaxis. Whoever does ultimately make the motion, which will not be me, please make sure to amend the motion so that it's very clear that this should not go to the city council until the administration has had an opportunity to amend the.
Right, so the amendment would be daycare education,
Sure.
correct?
Education program, yeah, I could do
Yeah.
that, no problem.
Okay. Commissioner Spezak.
Move to close the public hearing and send
You must wait then on that.
case number 2182B forward to the city council. The administration and planning department recommend that this petition be forwarded with a recommendation for granting of a special land use approval as the proposed use meets the special land use standards and zoning ordinance. And it's going to be not a daycare program, it's going to be a
Daycare education program?
daycare what? Program.
Education?
Yes, daycare education program. That's it.
Support so long as the normal rules are in fact waived. Are they, sir?
Normal rules are, right.
They are.
Motion by Commissioner Spezak, supported by Commissioner Rappaport. Roll call, please.
All right, roll call vote to recommend approval of the proposed special land use at 38409 Joy Road, an adult day education program. Roll call vote. Durante.
Yes.
Rappaport.
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Spezak.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And Wilson.
Yes.
6-0, the motion carries.
Very good. Thank you for bringing your business here. Good luck when you go to city council. All right,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good luck.
Mr. Ayub, you have anything else for us?
I don't, thank you, sir.
Motion's in order.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Rappaport, supported by Commissioner Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.